So the landing pad awaits. We used to call it Area like 51, and it was a big deal. But crossing the center hemisphere of your brain doesn't just make you highly functional and a survivor. It allows the red, white, and blue that used to have a presidential award for being in shape instead of fat with easy fast food expensive now. So roll it around. Doesn't matter what town you stand in. And you might have more clue of this than me. I've been quite innocent, and that's part of the thing that is going to be so rare. That's where the Muslims, I mean, I would wear a burqa thing if I wasn't already freaking hot from fibromyalgia. Survivor of many concussions. So highly functional. It was like if you were going to make a joke, the joke would definitely be haha, here's one. You know, my blonde and dyslexics get into fights, and it's not always logical, but sometimes when it's highly intelligent and functional, being autistic, highly functional, that's what the neurologist at UC Davis, you're highly functional. Thank you. Which finger? Doctors don't help you but save your life. But my upbringing had us all bucking our own hay and using a horse to get to school still, or a bicycle, not because you were homeless or got burnt out by the government. You know, 9/11, you don't think that's inside job? I think and Trump doesn't own my flag. I love my flag, red, white, and blue. I served my Marine while he was still sane. And regardless, civilian service is what this country is built on. And all the assets, whether they're here or wherever, that was built into our Constitution. And by us allowing federal government to have law over our bodies is no different than indentured servants, of which our country was first based on. So slavery, people got to get over it. Slavery has been around, even Jesus said there'll always be poor. But how we treat them, right? How we treat each other. Can we get off the dictation that handshake with Russia and China was, you'll get to make money, we'll lower the population globally without a war. And then Russians go in when I'm out and be assholes. But they're good at that. And, I can respect some of what they do, especially their Arabian horses. But back on track. Crossing the center hemisphere, so the left-right brain, that's where it is great that this generation has gaming, has snowboarding. Boys and girls grew up equal. So we can stop being so fucking bitching about the past and let the propaganda control our minds and crumple us or enrage us, or we have to have power over how many degrees or how much money do we have. Well, Trump didn't buy our flag. But he is very patriotic. He went to a military academy. Regardless, Carter is the Gandhi of my generation. Carter is the Roosevelt of my generation. Obama, they had fun. They had a party, whether it was other or not. I'm sure they're laughing all the way to the bank, and no one, what do all these expensive football players do for their own people in their own towns where they grew up, where they are making money? How much of that percentage is tithed back to the people that they preach about, or woe is me? Oh, look at police brutality. Hey, I grew up when it was fair. People were trained to know the visual difference. Now the 6 feet away and all the brainwashing of 20 years of, let's go watch Dancing with the Stars and pretend we're in Las Vegas. Give me a break. But let's not make it break that way. And see, not every pussy Oh, you can't see him. Oh, gosh, darn. Silly. There we go. Ah, there he is, Mr. Whiskers. This is your debut. Yes, he's always dressed in his best, and he's all ready to go. And so he's not going to get hurt, is he? Yeah. So, crossing the center hemisphere, Brain Gym, GYM.com, Brain Coalition. Oh, what is it called? BIC, Brain. Anyway, coalition.info. St. Jude, TBI. But the patriarchal thing of it used to be civilians. If people will remember, it was a revolution of the people. The people agreed. And now that's how they took America down from the inside. They controlled our minds because we quit volunteering when we could go on cruises and get fed like fat people that were rich. And I know people that do this every year. I'm like, I'm bored. I'm bored now. We've been on here how many hours? At the same time, to heal yourself, to save your life, you got to stay home. You got to have that chicken soup, that grandma remedy. So cherish your generational wisdom. If you can interview every elder that you come across, and cherish, our elders. Because yes, the people won't be living as long, especially if they keep running to the doctor instead of going home and sleeping and hydrating and grandma's remedies for 24 hours. Unless you're bleeding, I'm not a physician. Always go seek a physician. When in doubt, call. They'll tell you to come in. I can guarantee that. And I don't blame them, because you can't do a diagnosis over the phone. And that's why this whole visual, this 3D medical, people just have never owned the media. We need to lobby for hemp paper to come back, and hemp broke. We have a tree need of oxygen. We have a tree need for rain. We've been burning out for profit. Sewages have been run over the top of, water wells run over the top of, costing thousands of dollars for these good elders that retired in many communities that I know. The gardens were protected and saved, and the hot springs at harbin.org. Elmshurst, Seventh-day Adventist, look it up. She's a female prophet, and their health program is really cool. Deer Park, I believe it's Deer Park, right by St. Helena, Napa Valley. Deer Park, California, Elmhurst. Her house was spared. It went right around. It cut. And the hospital, and the cute little hospital that I worked in as an EKG tech. We were second only to Stanford. Our doctors were badass. But that was in the early 80s. So now that we just got to learn how to be nice again, remember somehow stretching it. Even if, and slower sometimes is better. But I'll tell you, back in the 70s, I can remember the dirty minds that I could feel their energy. So I like some of the looks of some of these new Burkish scarf things. But I want my son vitamin D. So dilemmas.